Whatever seat is comfortable to begin. Letting the heels move away from the bottom to relax the inner thighs, outer hips, the legs entirely. Maybe left hand into Chin Mudra, maybe right hand into the Jnana Mudra. Letting the hands be placed in a way that supports a tall spine, that still allows for the natural curvature of your spine. Trying to reduce strain as you're able. Noticing too, if there's any holding at the back of the neck, knowing you can bring the chin slightly down to relax that space. Softening the front of the throat by relaxing the tongue, releasing the jaw, bringing some softness to the delicate muscles around the eyes, across the brow, the skin of the skull. If you haven't already, start to shift your awareness to three-part breathing. Feeling the low abdomen relax as breath moves it outward. The front ribs separate as that space rises. The lift at the heart. And the exhale, feeling the heart drift down. The ribs move back together. The navel and low abdomen drawing in to contract and press the lungs toward empty. We know we can optimize our well-being when we can practice breathing slowly, fully on inhale, fully on exhale. So how can you begin to move toward that ideal of breathing? As you manage maybe whatever's coming up for you physically, mentally, emotionally. Reconciling between what you know to be the ideal and where you are. Playing that edge as you self-study. In a broad sense, the project of yoga is about ethical considerations that protect mutual boundaries. And Isvara Pranidhana is about approximating this ideal. It's the yamas in action, disrupting harm, acting by the truth that arises from that disruption, protecting property and boundaries without cluttering others or ourselves. It's making room for thriving, our own and others. Tapas in this process is going against the grain, whether it's going against the grain of our own selfish tendencies, of societal norms, or of systems that are oppressive. Swadhyaya is applying yourself to study, inward and outward. Bless you. Determining yourself and governing yourself in alignment with that determination. And Isvara Pranidhana is devoting yourself to this practice and this approximation of the ideal. Moving yourself and, as you are able, others toward the ideal, which is independence for all in an interdependent world. When you're ready, palms can come together, thumbs to heart. So we'll begin with this practice in a very personal way here on the mat. To have ethical considerations around our own boundaries, what builds strength, what maybe works against our strength in unbeneficial ways, how we can invite space, and when there's too much space. Studying, challenging, and approximating the ideal as we can. And whenever you're ready, you can release the hands, gently blinking open the eyes. You can make your way to all fours whenever it's your time. Can you hear me okay? So we're going to start with some child's cat-cow today. So having knees, heels, and sits bones somewhat in alignment, you can go ahead and make your way back when you're ready. Extending the arms forward, maybe the elbows are off the mat to begin, feeling the inner elbows turn up to the ceiling, finding your edge, letting the forehead drift down. Take a moment here to check in with your breath, probably feeling a little cluttered in the front abdomen because of this pose. Can you practice breathing deeply more into the side and the back body to still reach that basic level of thriving? And then we'll practice this movement into cat and cow. Maybe it's one cycle, one part of the breath forward and one part of the breath back. So when it's your time, maybe it's an inhale that brings you up into your cat back and into cow. Tail, heart lifting, maybe chin up. Maybe it's the exhale that presses the ground away, taking you back into cat and rounding back into your child's. Can you still practice breathing fully on inhale and on exhale as you move? Watch this tendency to want to move fast, how the breath maybe follows that. Slowing down gives the space for self-study, the space for choice, self-determination. If you'd like a couple more rounds, if at any time you're ready to go into maybe say some more organic movement, whether it's rib rolls or something that has no real rhyme or reason, please know that's an option. You're tending to your body as your observation, as your challenges arise. Making sure you're nice and stable wherever you are as you maybe go into that organic movement, getting out of the linear. Try to relax the mouth if you've noticed tension arise or around the eyes. Let go of any clenching. And when you're ready, I invite you to make your way back into child's pose. And this one, your knees can go as wide as you'd like. How would you like to place your arms to begin? Maybe you'd like to bring the hands into fists, turning the palms to the sky, gently rolling the knuckles inward, just to get a counter stretch on the wrists. And whenever that feels complete for you, you can make your way into a down dog. And I'm going to invite you to come in with blocks on your down dog if you'd like to today. Having weights nearby. Any height on the blocks, maybe not level 3, but 1 or 2 that feel spacious. Coming up when you're ready. Stepping feet as close to hands as allows you to find your edge in the hamstrings and to maybe really practice lengthening through the spine. If you're on the blocks, really press them down. Inner elbows gently turning forward. Maybe you'd like to take this time to release, shaking the head a little yes, no, relaxing the neck, maybe allowing space to come into the cervical spine with this inversion. Also, if you've noticed clenching of the teeth, maybe tightness in the upper back of throat or inward pressure, you'd like to yawn your mouth open, stick your tongue out, maybe even sigh a round or 3. Coming back to center when you're ready. We'll be moving into right foot forward lunge. So this could be a right foot stepping forward. It could be the knees coming down to make your way into that lunge. Please allow your blocks to be at any height that is going to give you space in this pose. Reaching from the heel through the crown, press the ground away in the feet, particularly the right heel, the left, second and third toe space feels centered there, and in the heels of the hands. Feel the left kneecap lifting up, strengthening the left thigh. And when you're ready, go ahead and set the left knee down. If you want to use a blanket under the left knee for support, do. And then we'll go into a low warrior two. So take the left heel to the right, find your weights, and make your way up into this low warrior two. So maybe the right heel is somewhat aligning with the center of the left calf, just for some balance. Feel the right inner thigh externally rotate, taking knee to pinky toe. Feel the glutes strong. When you're ready, open the arms into a T. Shoulders slipping down the back. And we're going to start with some small forward circles here. So let it be something that you can control, be aware of your breath. Maybe let the chin come down to relax the back of the neck a little. And you can play with the size of the circle as you'd like. Notice if you're clenching the teeth, or maybe if the right knee starts to drop in, how can you press back on those compensations? And then when you're ready, go ahead and pause, turn the palms forward and release the arms down. Take a moment here, feel the shoulders slip down the back for a moment. Regain your breath. So with the palms forward here, we're going to go into some sweeping of the arms up and down. So first off, in this action, it's pretty easy, well, in general, to bring the heads of the weights together when you go up, depending on your shoulder openness. To try to bring the weights together when you go down, the size of your chest is going to matter, your abdomen. So you might lift the arms a little further up to try to bring the weights toward each other. It's not a have to, you're just trying to find your edge in that hug inward, okay? So when you're ready, inner right thigh externally rotating, glutes strong. On the inhale, maybe sweep the arms up, bringing the heads of the weights together overhead to your best ability. And on the exhale, releasing down, whatever height of the arm suits as you bring heads toward each other on the bottom. You're working with your body, your ability. It doesn't need to look like anyone else's or any idea you have in your mind about what it has to be. Notice the natural lift of the shoulders as you take the arms up. Notice the shoulders sliding back down as you lower the arms. This is the natural gliding action. Maybe a couple more. Last one if it's okay. How's your breathing? Releasing arms down to the sides when you're ready. Take a moment, again, collect your breath. If you need to work around the neck at all, do. Or the shoulders. Long exhales to increase the size of your inhale. So for this next sequence, we're going to do bicep curls while also leaning into the right knee, sinking into the right hip. So maybe you bring the hands up toward the shoulders as you come into the right heel. Root the heel and press back up. Choose a breath cycle to match this moving into and out of. You're really letting the rooting of the heel be what grounds you, both in the leaning forward and on the pressing out. Maybe a couple more. Making your way back up to the low warrior two. Hands can come to heart. So we're going to add on to this warrior two sequence. Hands will stay where they are at the heart space. We're just focusing on the legs here. When it's your time, again, external rotation of right knee toward pinky toe with the inner thigh activated. Sink down into the right heel, the knee, and then lift, pressing second and third toe space at the ball mound to bring the heel up. Then pressing into the ball mound, make your way back up to your warrior two and release the heel down. Mindful of breath, so sinking in, lifting the heel, find your edge, press into the ball space and release. Relaxed mouth, relaxed eyes, control of the breath. We're not letting our desire to move to this ideal mess with thriving. Last one, this direction, if it's okay. Pausing when you get back up. And we're going to go the other way. So lifting the heel, sinking into the right knee, press the ball space down, release the heel and press into the heel to come back up. Heel up, lean in, release heel, root and rise. Heel up, lean in, release heel, press up. Two more if it's okay. Last one. Press up. Release the arms. You can go ahead and set the right weight to the side. Maybe bring a block in below the right shoulder. Pressing right arm and leg together. Stability here. We'll be working a little bit into some flying of the right arm. If you need to adjust right leg to feel stable, please do. So maybe on the exhale, you lift the left elbow to the sky and open the left arm like a side angle, heart open to the left. And then maybe you bend the elbow and reach the left arm underneath the right leg to the right. So the elbow lift, extend, bend, and twist. Reach. Your right leg is probably feeling pretty fatigued. Let the right arm as a post help you be supported. Just a few more if it's okay. Again, notice if you're holding tension in the mouth or around the eyes and the gaze. Know you can let that go when you notice. You can adjust what you're doing to maybe help release. Coming back out, go ahead and set the left weight down. Using both blocks now, whatever height suits you. Pivot the left leg back, coming into lizard lunge. So both weights to the, hands to the inside of the right foot. Whatever height on the block suits you. If you need to adjust the width, the length of the legs, do. And we'll be going into a bit of a twist here. So left heel of hand below shoulder, inner elbow forward. Maybe right hand comes to right thigh, to begin to twist. Feel the left hip come forward. Maybe you'd even like to press the right knee away and roll to pinky toe edge of foot. Try to notice if you're sinking into the left shoulder, and as much as you have strength, press into the heel of the hand. Maybe you'd like to take the right arm into a half bind. Behind the low back, shoulder down, shoulder blade hugging to the spine to find your edge. You could look to the left thumb if you'd like to get the stretch across right side of neck and heart. Whenever this feels complete, releasing, you can bring right sole of foot back to mat and maybe taking a moment in your lizard lunge, staying with both hands down or using whatever height on the blocks is supportive to come down a little lower. And I invite you to maybe sway a little here. You can even rock on the right foot. Maybe there's somewhere you want to pause. Notice if quality breath goes by the wayside, bring it back. And whenever you are done here, hands can come back to blocks, pressing up, taking hips back, right knee back when it's your time. And I invite you to come into a plank pose when you're ready. Knees up or down. Pressing into the second and third toe space, the heel of the hand. Feel the inner elbows turn forward. Front ribs maybe come in, kneecaps lift. Probably feeling pretty warm on the right side with what you've done. When you're ready, knees come down. You can chaturanga or you can step forearms down as you make your way to your stomach. Untucking toes, feet as wide here as feels uncluttered in the low back. So we're going to invite some arm sweeps in our locust pose here, or kind of this locust cobra amalgamation. Arms back, palms up. Feel the tops of the feet root into the floor. Feel the glutes engaged, the quads engaged as the kneecaps lift. When it's your time, on the inhale, start to lift the back of the heart, sweep and lift the arms, finding your edge. You might stop at a T, or maybe arms come toward each other ahead of you. And then sweeping the arms back, trying to stay as lifted in the heart as suits you. Palms up, release down. Again, legs strong. Inhale to lift, to sweep, or whatever works with your breath. Just make sure you're breathing. Starting with second cycle of breath to release back down. 3 more if it's okay. And whenever you finish, you can stack your hands to rest forehead, cheek, or chin. Know that you're welcome to rock the hips or to bend the knees and windshield wiper the heels side to side. If it would be best for you to come into child's pose, or maybe you'd like to go into some more cat-cow, make your way whenever you're ready. Let this be a time to regain your breath, maybe to balance out how you feel in the body. Long exhales can create a bigger inhale. And whenever you feel it's your time, I invite you to set up for another down dog using blocks. Don't let me rush you. You do you. We don't all move in the same time, have the same challenge. Again, when you make your way into your down dog, inner elbows can turn forward so there's more stability in the shoulder. Maybe taking this opportunity to pedal through the legs a little. Maybe feel the front ribs come in, the back of the heart press between the shoulder blades. So we're really trying to maximize space along the spine. And again, if you want to invite space into the neck, maybe let the head dangle, a little shake of yes or no. Knowing too, you're welcome to yawn the mouth open, stick the tongue out and sigh. Maybe taking a moment to pause and reach the center of the heel back and down as much as feels okay in your legs. You can keep a knee bend. Maybe feeling the inner thighs internally rotate. Notice how that gives a little different sensation there and at the outer hip. And whenever you're ready to make your way into lunge, knees can come down, or you can step the left foot forward if that's an option. Lengthening, widening the stance to find your edge here, where you can really root into the front heel, the ball mound of the back foot, where you can extend from heel through crown, feeling the right thigh engaged to your edge, pressing down into even the heels of the hands. And when you're ready, right knee to the mat or supporting with a blanket, kickstanding right heel to the left, finding your weights, rooting the front heel and coming up in this low warrior two. Any adjustments you need to make to the stance so you feel stable, please take time for them. And when you're ready, lifting the arms to a T. So last round we went forward. This round we'll go backward. Again, feel the left knee move to the pinky toe, inner thigh engaged, glute strong. When you're ready, little circles moving backward. Maybe chin comes down, releasing back of neck. Maybe you start to play with the size of the circle as you see fit, as you can still control breath and what's happening with the arms. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and release, turning palms forward, letting arms come down. Take a moment. This second round, you might be noticing fatigue from what you've already done. We don't have to do this round exactly the same. Again, we're paying attention, we're protecting, whatever that might mean, we're being cautious. When you feel more controlled with your breath, maybe it's the start of a breath cycle that takes the arms wide and arms up, maybe heads of weights coming toward each other. Releasing down with control, bringing the heads of the weights toward each other now on the bottom. Try to stay strong in the legs. Notice if the left knee wants to knock in as your attention is divided a bit. Remember, you can lift the arms to whatever point to help the heads of the weights come toward each other a little bit more. Or you could not. There's work in both areas. Maybe two more here, depending on how you're feeling this round. Don't get caught up in the number. Stay aware of what you feel. Let this be information that you gather. Think about what you're doing and act from there. And whenever you finish, go ahead and release the arms for a moment. You can let the palms face each other. Catch your breath. So instead of the traditional bicep curl this round, we'll do more of a hammer curl, keeping the thumbs toward the ceiling. Again, feel the inner thigh, externally rotate, knee to pinky toe. Try to turn as much to the right as feels okay. And whenever you're ready, bringing heads of the weights to the shoulders, sink into the left heel, pressing into heel, releasing arms down with control. Moving with breath. If you notice you need to make adjustments to your stance to protect the knee or the depth needs to change, do so as is right for you. Are you bringing tension into the mouth or around the eyes? Do you want to hold that tension? Do you want to let go? Maybe a few more here if it's okay. Controlled release. Notice if you have this tendency to just drop the weights, letting gravity help. You do it as much as strength allows. Coming back up when you're done. Hands can come to heart. Again, we'll start that sequence on the left leg with the heel lifts. So if you even want to look to the left foot, you could. When you're ready, sink into the left heel. Mindful of the knee, lift the heel, press into the ball mount to come back up and release the heel down. So sink, lift to your edge, press, and release. Last one. Going this direction if you want. And then we'll go the other way. Lifting the heel, sinking down, release the heel, root and rise. Heel up, sink to your edge, release, press up in the heel. It's okay, maybe two more. Stay aware. Don't attach to that numerical outcome. Keep paying attention. Release the arms from here. You can go ahead and set left weight down. Block to the inner left leg, whatever height suits you here. Preparing for this work on the right arm. You can press left arm and leg together to find some stability. And whenever it's your time, maybe moving with breath, reach the right elbow to the sky, open the heart to the right, maybe the right arm to ceiling. Release, bending the elbow, and thread right arm under left leg, twisting to the left. Elbow lift, extend arm, bend, reach and twist. As you begin to know the movement, let your attention drift elsewhere as well. Breath, engagement through the legs, what's happening in the neck, any stress you may be taking on that's unneeded. Depending on how you're feeling on this side, maybe two more. When you are done with that thread, go ahead and set the right weight down. Preparing for lizard lunge, you can bring in both blocks, hands to the inside of left leg, adjusting width and length of the stance to be comfortable. Right heel of hand can stay somewhere below right shoulder, inner elbow forward. Maybe left hand comes to thigh. As you start to let right hip point lead the twist, turning left. And again, maybe you press into the left thigh, maybe you even roll to the pinky toe edge of left foot. Notice if you sink into the right shoulder, resist that as you push into the heel of hand. How's your breathing? Trying to slow down if you're rapid. And if you want to go into the half bind on the left side, reaching the left arm back, shoulder down, shoulder blade could hug the spine to find your edge. You can look back to the right to open across left side of neck, heart. Releasing this whenever you're ready. Hand can come back to block, maybe left foot down, whatever height on blocks you want to come to. If you want to come to the forearms, you could. You can sway here, invite release. Maybe you let the back of the neck let go by letting forehead be heavy to the floor. If there's somewhere you want to pause, do. When this feels finished, coming back up to hands if you're not there already, backing the hips up, the left knee up, coming to the floor. You might want to move props out of the way, and you can come into a plank pose if you want. If you are more than ready to go to your stomach, you could. If you want to make do a variation of the plank pose, no, that's an option. Remember, it's a whole body exercise in plank. So feel the extension through the heels, the legs strong. Notice if you're dipping in the spine, maybe bring the front ribs in, press the back of the heart to the sky. Feel the inner elbows turning toward the index fingers as you extend through the crown. You relax the mouth, the eyes. And when you're ready, knees to the mat. Chaturanga, shoulders away from ears, or step the forearms down to come to your stomach. Untucking toes, feet as wide as you'd like here. In this round, we'll take some time to pause in a back bend. So if you would like, you could come into Sphinx pose, shoulders down, heart forward. Maybe you let the back of the neck release by bringing the forehead down. And again, be aware of really sinking into the shoulders. While that does feel good on the shoulders, it also can feel really good on the spine, finding your edge to press into the forearm so that you're really getting that benefit of the back bend. So play with these ratios as you see fit to find your challenge. You can even gently press tops of feet into mat if you want to have that engagement of the legs. Doesn't have to be much. You're more than welcome to stay right here if this is your edge. If you think you want a little bit more for however long you'd like to be in it, seal pose, hands can widen, they can walk away or move closer to you as you press the heels of the hands down. Shoulders are still rolling down the back. Maybe the inner elbows still turn forward so you can feel the strength in the arms, the tops of the feet into the floor at least a little bit. Breathing well, fullness of lungs on inhale, emptiness of lungs on exhale. Whenever your back bend is complete, wherever you are, gently make your way down. And again, you can stack hands to rest forehead, opposite cheek or chin. You could again rock hips or bend knees to reverse windshield wiper legs side to side. You could go into child's pose or cat cow at any time if that's where your benefit is, or anything else that the body is asking for. Know that you're welcome to explore. And then whenever you are feeling you're ready to move into a seat, please do. You can sit on a blanket if that benefits you moving into a seat. Maybe right leg in front here as you come into Sukhasana, easy seat. And we'll get into the shoulders here. We've opened across the heart a little bit. Now we'll get into the upper back. So depending on what works for you, maybe right hand comes to left shoulder, or maybe right elbow sits inside of left. You can bring both hands to shoulders, or you can wrap the arms up. If you're here and you want to bring hand or forearm to shoulder, or excuse me, tricep, you can. So finding your edge in this, crossing the arms in whatever variation suits, shoulders down. Feel the elbows press or press the forearm into the tricep. Slipping the shoulders down the back. Taking a moment to breathe here. You could even slightly draw the arms to the left as you gaze to the right. Coming back to neutral with gaze, with arms. And then maybe you start to take the elbows toward the abdomen, curling the upper back forward, releasing chin to throat. Gently lifting at the heart, coming back up. Release the arms. You know you're welcome to work around the shoulders, the neck. And from here, we'll go into 90-90, right leg staying forward, left leg coming back. You could have the blanket shift to the right here to be supportive, so you're not so leaning right. And you're taking the legs as much into a 90-degree angle as feels okay. So we think of the knees lining more with the hip sockets. What that means for you is dependent on what's happening in your body. So check it out. You can let the back foot relax. The right foot can start to flex to find your edge, squaring heart forward. And then whenever you're ready, you can hinge at the hips, roll forward in the pelvis to come down. Hands might be what allows you to find your edge to the mat. You could bring forearms to blocks or the floor. Again, trying to release the back of the neck, the space of the mouth, across the brow, around the eyes. Breathe well. Allowing this to be a time of awareness, practicing focus. When this feels complete, you can make your way back up to your hands, spine up. we'll bring a twist in here. So maybe the heels come close into the bottom. You could even wrap the left foot around the bottom. We're going into this deer twist. So let the left hip lead as you start to turn to the right, staying up on the hands, maybe using blocks to rest forearms are on, maybe bringing forearms down to the mat. And you could even, if you want to get into the lower left back, reach the left arm long. Palm down or on the fingertips is your choice. There's a little different armpit stretch I notice when I come up to the fingertips. Explore it, decide where to settle. Letting breath move more into the side and the back body because of the twist. Bringing left hand back below shoulder, pressing up to the right hand, walking torso up. Coming back to neutral in the spine, bringing left leg forward now. Into your easy seat with left leg in front, if that feels okay. So we'll go into the twist here. Left hand to shoulder, the arm stretch. Left hand to shoulder, maybe right hand or forearm to tricep. If you think you want a little bit more, elbow to elbow, hands to shoulders. If you think it'll be okay, maybe elbow to elbow, wrapping forearms up, bringing palms toward each other. Shoulders down wherever you're at. You're pressing hand or forearm into the tricep, or you're pressing the elbows together. And then maybe bringing both arms a bit to the right, gazing to the left. And back to neutral when you decide you're done. And if you choose, bringing the elbows toward the abdomen, rounding the upper back, chin toward the chest. Making your way back up, lifting at the heart. Releasing the arms, roll around shoulders, move around neck, as suits you. And when you're ready for the hip stretch on the left, again, the right leg comes back. You can move your blanket more to the left to be supportive. Trying to have this 90-90 or this half pinwheel shape in the legs as suits you on this side. Be mindful of the front knee. You can relax the flexing on the back foot, but maybe you flex the front foot to find your edge, squaring heart forward, staying upright, or if it feels okay on this side, starting to come forward. Let this be its own thing. Notice if you start to place what you did on the other side here, and instead tend to what's coming up through sensation with breath. Find the ideal, thriving, while still maintaining the position in some way. Notice if there's tension in the shoulders, around the neck, jaw, eyes, that you're holding and you don't need to. Try to let it go. And this side is complete for you. You can make your way back up. Move in your own time. Heels can come into bottom, or right foot can wrap around back end. Preparing for this twist. Again, let the right hip lead the twist to the left. Hands can be down. You can use blocks to come to forearms, or forearms to the mat. And maybe you extend the right arm to get into the right side and low back body. Palm down or fingertips down. Maybe play between the two positions. Breath coming into side body, back body here. Still working toward full lungs on inhale, empty lungs on exhale. When this is done, right hand can come below right shoulder. Rooting that hand to bring left hand below shoulder, walking the torso up, unwinding. Right leg can come forward. Feel free to square yourself on your blanket. Preparing for a forward fold. This forward fold today, we've not done a whole ton down the back of the leg. You might want to come in with blocks and bring the blocks at the bend in the knee, so there's just a little more softness there. It'll give you a different stretch. You might not want to decide it's not for you or want to take them out. That's cool. Your legs are as wide as feels okay. Wider can be kinder in the hamstrings. You might flex the feet. And when it's your time, I invite you to, again, hinge at the hips, roll forward in the pelvis. You could hold shin, ankle. Maybe you can reach the pinky toe of foot with the bend of the knees. You could reach arms between the legs. Try to keep the heart softly extending forward to really let this stay in the low back, hips, thighs, and down the hamstring. And again, you're deciding what that means. But no, you can also let the forehead be heavy to the floor to release the back of the neck. How's your breathing here? Ready, walking hands back, torso up. You're welcome to get comfortable. You can make your way to your back where you can have props available. When you get down, you might like to come into reclined child's pose, or maybe even happy baby, to rock and roll, massage the back. You could have blanket below head, or maybe blanket across hips if you're ready to go right into Shavasana. Any final poses that will help you complete your practice. And when you're ready to go into a resting pose, know that you can have legs extended, feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. Or maybe you have feet down, letting the knees knock in. You could have palms on the abdomen, arms in a low V to a T, or even a goalpost shape. What's going to allow you the utmost in relaxation? What does ideal relaxation mean for you? Somewhere you can be still for a little bit. Maybe this is sitting upright in the pose we began in. Wherever you are, try to let the hips relax, inner thighs, low back. Try to feel the release around the shoulders and down the arms. Notice if you can tip the chin into the throat to reduce holding at the back of the neck. Try to let the front of the throat, jaw, space of the mouth, eyes and brow relax. Maybe you come back to three-part breath, holding it a little softer. So maybe the mind can practice stillness, invite clarity. Thoughts arise, you can follow them or set them aside. You take this time to absorb all that you've done. At any time, if you feel ready to move out of this position, you can, maybe starting gently, fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, rocking of head side to side. If you want to stay where you are through the end of practice, always know that's an option as well. You might eventually want to bring in a full body stretch or knees to chest. You could roll to one side to pause, coming to a seat when you choose. Palms can come together, thumbs to heart. Maybe taking this time for gratitude for this opportunity to practice Isvara Pranidhana, this approximation of the ideal, what it means to be aware of our boundaries, to encourage our thriving, so that this practice might move with us out into our day, so that we can use it in relationship, so that we can move toward mutual boundary holding and thriving. If there's anything or anyone you'd like to take time to acknowledge, please do. And if you'd like to join me in an Om, exhale air out to inhale deeply. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace in body, mind, and essence as you proceed into your day.